at the bar where I smoked my first cigar, and the dollar in my pocket rolled away. It was there by chance that I swiped a pair of pants, and now I have 30 days in jail.
Welcome back to The Place of Places, an in-depth look at William Saroyan's 1972 memoir, Places Where I've Done Time. Today we investigate Chapter 10, The First Methodist Church, Oakland, 1913. Saroyan lived at the Fred Finch Orphanage in Oakland from 1911 to 1916, from the ages of 3 to 8. Although the death of his father and separation from his mother were painful, most of the stories in this book about the orphanage are pleasant memories. His 3 siblings also lived at the orphanage, and he did see his mother on weekends. As an article in the San Francisco Call from 1895 about the orphanage reports, although under Methodist management, children are received irrespective of creed. In 1892, Captain Duncan Finch, a shipping tycoon, and his wife, Eunice Finch, dedicated their retirement property at 3800 Coolidge Avenue to the Methodist Church for use as an orphanage after their son Fred died of tuberculosis. In 1895, there were 85 child, quote, inmates, as the newspaper calls them. By the 1950s, there were 300. Some had no parents, but many others lived there due to similar conditions as the Saroyans, where their parents temporarily couldn't afford to care for them. In 1913, the First Methodist Church was on the southeast corner of 14th Street and Clay, but that was 4 miles from the orphanage. Every Sunday, the children were marched to church in rows of 4, singing songs like Joy to the World. Saroyan says it was 6 blocks away. He may be referring to a closer Sunday school, as there were many all over Oakland. The First Methodist Church opened in 1862, and the City Church Extension Society began expanding locations in the early 1900s. It's possible that the orphanage brought its children to an extension Sunday school that was only 6 blocks away. Although there is something heroic picturing over 100 children marching and singing for 4 miles. So on Sundays they had duck eggs and a surprise treat, in this case strawberries, a fruit that was a thriving export from California at the time. Saroyan goes into some detail about duck eggs, remarking on their strongly yellow yolks. Duck eggs were a rarity and were farmed less often than chickens. The duck egg is much larger than the chicken egg and contains more fat, cholesterol, and protein, so this was a richer breakfast to have, worthy of a Sunday church morning. Today, a dozen duck eggs cost between 3 and 6 times more than chicken eggs. Large-scale poultry farming wouldn't begin until the 1920s and flourished in the middle of the century, but in 1913, acquiring eggs was a local endeavor. There's brief mention of being quarantined in the orphanage's attic when he was ill, and this is picked up again in more detail later in the book, clearly a memorable experience. Then there is the case of the hymn parody he and his friends sang. At the bar where I smoked my last cigar, and the nickels and the dimes rolled away. It was there by chance I tore my Sunday pants. And the last 2 lines he doesn't remember. This is a joke on the hymn At the Cross, and the joke wasn't unique to the boys of Fred Finch Orphanage. On the contrary, this parody had reach. Kids all over the country in the early and mid-1900s were singing something very similar to William and his pals. The lyrics differed slightly, but the theme stayed the same. These exact lyrics are included in the book Heaven on Horseback, Revivalist Songs and Verse in the Cowboy Idiom, from 1970, in which the writers collected cultural snapshots of Western folklore. They complete the ditty with, "It was there by chance I tore my Sunday pants, and now I can wear them every day." This is one of many variations. Like Puddin' Tame in Chapter 2, we get a little insight into the American childhood here. In Here Comes, There Goes, You Know Who, from 1961, we also learned that the orphanage kids sang Civil War songs and Mexican songs, a hodgepodge reflecting the patterns of migration to California in the 1800s. In 1913, California had only been a state for a little over 60 years. When William was 5, he could only find the comedy in church and in the way the minister spoke. Not much changed over time. Despite his father's chosen profession as a Presbyterian minister, William was never a religious person, but he saw the divine in life itself, more so than in the afterlife. Still, this exposure to religion did affect him, as we see on display in his own set of psalms in the 1936 story collection, Inhale and Exhale. We also see him embrace the metaphysical in the ending chapters of Places Where I've Done Time. Like many of these very old memories, the intent is somewhat blurry, but reaches deep to show us how he began forming into the person of 1972. Let's put this on the Saroyan map and move on.